Listen, you're 83 years old. It's a cold Tuesday morning in January 2027. You're standing in the kitchen you've stood in for 47 years. The coffee mug in your hand has a chipped handle because your granddaughter dropped it during Christmas back in 2016, and you kept using it anyway because throwing it away felt wrong. The sunlight is hitting the same section of faded linoleum it has hit every winter morning since the late 1970s. 47 years of mortgage payments, 47 years of fixing leaks, replacing roofs, paying insurance bills, arguing with contractors, mowing lawns, shoveling snow, and building a family inside these exact four walls. This house is not a house anymore. It's your entire adult life compressed into wood, drywall, and memory. And then your legs stop working, not dramatically, not like in the movies. Your knees simply buckle without warning beside the refrigerator. The coffee mug slips from your hand and shatters across the floor before your brain fully understands what's happening. Upstairs, your wife hears the crash and calls your name twice before panic enters her voice. By 8:11 a.m., paramedics are wheeling you through your own front door while neighbors pretend not to stare through half-open curtains. By noon, a neurologist is standing beside your hospital bed using phrases like vascular damage, cognitive decline, and long-term supervision. Your daughter flies in from Arizona that night. Your son drives 10 straight hours from Kentucky, fueled entirely by gas station coffee and fear. 2 days later, your children are sitting inside a beige conference room with a hospital social worker named Diane. She slides a glossy brochure across the table with smiling photos of elderly people playing cards under fluorescent lighting, nursing facilities, assisted living centers, memory care units. Prices typed neatly beneath every photo. $12,800 per month, $14,300 monthly for advanced care, nearly $17,000 for specialized dementia supervision. Your daughter actually laughs under her breath when she sees the numbers, because her brain rejects them as impossible. She's a middle school teacher, making $62,000 a year before taxes. Your son owns a small heating and air company already, drowning in equipment loans and payroll costs. Neither of them can survive numbers like this. That's the exact moment the illusion collapses for your family, because here is what nobody explained during all those retirement seminars at hotel conference rooms with free coffee and smiling financial advisors wearing expensive loafers. Medicare does not pay for long-term custodial care, not real long-term care, not permanent supervision, not dementia monitoring, not assistant seating, bathing, dressing, remembering medication, or preventing elderly patients from wandering outside confused at 3 o'clock in the morning. Medicare pays for temporary rehabilitation, short-term recovery, skilled care while improvement is still medically possible. But the second doctors decide your condition has stabilized, the coverage stops cold, the bills do not stop, the nursing facility still charges every single day. The meter keeps running while your family sits in hospital parking garages, Googling phrases like how to protect parents home from nursing home costs, and suddenly your children discover the most terrifying financial truth in modern America. Growing old is expensive. Growing dependent is catastrophic, because nursing home care in 2027 doesn't cost hundreds of dollars a month. It costs more than many Americans earned annually during entire careers. 1 year inside a private nursing facility can burn through $150,000, faster than most families can emotionally process. Your wife's social security check cannot cover it. Your pension cannot cover it. Your retirement account, the one you spent 40 years carefully building while skipping vacations and driving used cars, suddenly looks microscopic against institutional care costs, and eventually every middle-class American family reaches the same horrifying conclusion through crises like this. We need Medicaid. That sentence marks the beginning of a completely different nightmare, because Medicaid is not retirement insurance. Medicaid is poverty assistance. To qualify in many states in 2027, your assets must fall below limits so low they sound fictional. around $2,000 in countable resources for many applicants. $2,000 after an entire lifetime of work. Then comes the part nobody warned your children about, the 5-year look-back audit. The Medicaid caseworker asks for 60 months of financial records, every checking account statement, every savings account, every brokerage account, every withdrawal, every transfer, every check written to family members, every gift, every unusual deposit. 5 full years of financial history, placed under government review during the worst week of your family's life. Your daughter spends midnight hours sitting on hotel carpet, digging through old bank statements while simultaneously trying to decide which nursing facility can keep her father alive without financially destroying everyone else. And the state isn't looking for criminal behavior. That's the terrifying part. The system is searching for generosity. The $18,000 you gave your granddaughter for college tuition in 2024. The money you loaned your son after his divorce. The down payment assistance you gave your daughter during the housing crisis. The old pickup truck you signed over to your nephew. Medicaid classifies these acts as uncompensated transfers. The government treats them as assets intentionally given away to qualify for assistance. Then the penalty calculations begin. The state totals those transfers and divides the amount by the average monthly nursing home cost in your state. The result becomes your penalty period, the number of months Medicaid refuses to pay for your care. If your transfers total $60,000 and your state's divisor is $12,000 monthly, your family faces a 5-month penalty period. 5 months where the nursing home still expects payment in full every single month while Medicaid contributes absolutely nothing. And remember, the money is already gone. Spent years earlier helping family members survive their own emergencies. So now your daughter quietly researches second mortgages on her own home without telling her husband yet. Your son starts taking extra jobs despite chronic back pain because the invoices arriving from the facility feel impossible to survive otherwise. One medical catastrophe suddenly infects the financial stability of an entire family tree. Meanwhile, your wife still returns home every evening to the same house you built together over nearly 5 decades. Your slippers are still beside the bed. Your reading glasses still sit near the recliner. Your jacket still hangs in the hallway closet. But the house feels different now, heavy somehow, threatening, because every object inside it suddenly carries financial consequences. The family home stops feeling like security and starts feeling like an asset the system is preparing to consume. And then your children discover another horrifying truth. Even after Medicaid eventually begins paying, many states pursue a state recovery after death. That means the government often keeps a ledger tracking every dollar spent on your long-term care. And after you die, the state may seek reimbursement through claims against remaining estate assets, including the house where your children learned to walk, the house where your wife still sleeps alone every night listening to the refrigerator hum in the silence, the house containing 47 years of birthdays, funerals, graduations, layoffs, anniversaries, and ordinary Tuesday evenings watching television together. Suddenly those memories exist inside legal paperwork, probate filings, recovery claims, and financial calculations, and most Americans have absolutely no idea how exposed they are until they're already trapped inside the system, because the retirement industry sells fantasy, beaches, cruise ships, golf courses, smiling silver-haired couples, kayaking through lakes at sunset in pharmaceutical commercials. Nobody shows the actual machinery of aging in America. Nobody shows exhausted daughters crying inside hospital parking garages over spreadsheets. Nobody shows elderly couples liquidating retirement accounts to survive another 6 months of institutional care. Nobody shows adult children whispering about money outside IQ rooms because they're terrified Mom might overhear the numbers. The emotional damage becomes just as brutal as the financial destruction. Older Americans from your generation were taught self-reliance as identity. Depending on children feels humiliating. Watching your family debate care costs feels humiliating. sitting across from government caseworkers, discussing your remaining assets like inventory items feels humiliating. Many elderly people stop speaking much during this process altogether. They apologize constantly. They start referring to themselves as burdens. Meanwhile, adult children carry guilt that never fully disappears. Guilt over placement decisions, guilt over exhaustion, guilt over secretly wishing the crisis would end. Because the pressure is slowly destroying everyone involved. And the timing couldn't be worse. Because 2027 has become one of the most financially dangerous periods for retirees in modern American history. Property taxes continue climbing nationwide. Insurance premiums are exploding. Utility bills remain elevated. Grocery prices keep rising. Prescription medications consume larger percentages of fixed retirement income every year. Millions of retirees are now trapped inside a terrifying contradiction. They are technically wealthy on paper because their homes appreciated massively during the housing boom, but they are cash poor, income poor, liquidity poor. A retired couple may sit inside a fully paid off $700,000 home while surviving on barely enough monthly income to handle emergencies. Then long-term care enters the equation, and the entire system collapses instantly. Families begin making impossible decisions. Maybe dad can stay home longer. Maybe mom can handle caregiving herself. Maybe home healthcare will cost less. Maybe the doctors are exaggerating. Families bargain with reality because reality itself feels unaffordable. But eventually caregiver exhaustion destroys everyone. Your wife hurts her shoulder helping you stand. Your daughter cannot keep missing work. Your son cannot keep driving across multiple states every weekend. And the nursing home invoices continue arriving every month with mechanical precision. 40 years of savings can disappear in less than 2 years under modern long-term care costs, sometimes faster. And here's the most terrifying part. This can happen to almost anyone. Middle-class retirees are the primary victims because they possess enough assets to initially disqualify themselves from assistance but nowhere near enough wealth to privately fund years of care indefinitely. The truly wealthy use trusts, advanced estate planning, and legal structures years earlier. The very poor qualify for assistance quickly. It's ordinary middle-class families who get financially crushed in the middle. The retired electrician, the nurse, the postal worker, the school secretary, the mechanic, the factory supervisor, the people who followed every rule society gave them, the people who believed decades of hard work created security, and now millions of aging Americans are discovering the same terrifying truth at exactly the same moment. Retirement was never the finish line. Dependency was always the real financial test. And for countless families in 2027, that test has become brutally expensive.